we recording?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. It's whatever material. It's
Okay,
there.
welcome to Kibitzer.
Was it?
That's
Ow!
Kibitzer. That's right.
All right.
And happy 2016 New Year.
Yes, we're recording this on the new day of the new year.
Yes, because we couldn't record yesterday because I had work until 10 p.m.
Well, we're recording whenever we can. We're posting it whenever.
At least religiously once
Yeah.
a week. That's the
Unless we
That's the goal.
decide to record like 2 weeks in advance or something.
unless Jackson decides to record 2 weeks in advance.
Your show.
Not my show at all. So, what are we talking about? Oh, so New Year's.
Also, we
What?
got a question from the audience.
We actually have an audience?
Well, there was one person who had a question who spoke to me.
Okay.
Please describe Kibitzer. The definition.
I will look it up. Give me a second.
From what I can recall, it is a German word for a person who stands behind a poker player. That's what I remember reading. And does commentary about something.
Yeah, it's commentary stuff. Let's take a look here. Kibitzer.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I guess.
So what is it?
I guess the noun thing of it is, well, a spectator at a card game who looks at a player's cards over their shoulder and gives unsolicited advice. That's definition 1.
So a couch player who watches poker on TV.
Yeah, like a backseat driver.
Yeah.
And,
Backseat poker player.
Yeah, and then the second definition
That's
is
a literal definition right now.
a giver of uninvited or unwanted advice. That's right. You don't want this, but you're going to watch it.
So yeah, that is the premise of these shows.
Well, doesn't it sound like it? I don't know. Like you're watching stuff you don't really care about, and you're listening to these people giving you advice.
It's
Right.
for entertainment.
Is it? What about those DIY things that those people do for you on YouTube?
DIY things.
Yeah, those people who are like, oh, let me show you how to build a house, on YouTube or fix a car on YouTube.
It's opinion. You're allowed to have it.
I suppose. So,
Even
New
though you
Year's.
might disagree, I'll fight for your right to express it.
yes, that I will. Unless it's racial or something.
Yeah, then that will become slanderous, and then you would have trouble.
Yes, lots of trouble.
All right, so what are we talking about today?
Talking about New Year's. So New Year's, I guess some people are trying to. Are we getting into shape this year, Jackson? Do you plan on getting into shape this year?
Round is a shape.
Sure. But let's talk about socially accepted shape.
Okay, that's just like peer pressure now. But yeah, for health reasons, yes, you're supposed to be at a recommended weight, size, class, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so a lot of people are going to be going to the gym or buying useless gym passes and all those great things. And it's great to buy it if you got the money. That's great. And like I personally do not have a lot of money, so therefore I do not spend money.
There are ways to exercise and be healthy without having to go into these gym places, though. To each their own. People need structure.
Please enlighten us.
It's like your learning habits. Like people have different ways of learning.
Yeah.
Some people require an instructor. Some people are better at self-learning.
And even then, I think everybody should, even if you're good at self-learning and you've realized that you're self-learning and not just full of yourself, okay? That's two different things.
Yeah.
You still need an instructor, at least for some time, to correct you and give you certain details and whatnot on what you should be working for or working towards.
Yes, there should be right ways of exercising because you might hurt yourself.
Yeah, and that's why there's personal fitness trainers, and paying for the gym doesn't mean you're gonna get a personal fitness trainer. They charge you over in Vancouver here. They charge you $60 an hour.
Yeah, you actually hire them.
Yeah, on top of your gym fees, and obviously it's a journey, not an overnight experience, right? So you're hiring these fitness trainers for a week, 2 weeks. No, sorry, more than that. A month, 2 months, up to 3 months.
Yeah.
But however much long you want to fork out money for,
Yeah, most people start to see results in 3 months or something like that. Well, at least
Uh,
he's like significant results.
yeah, I guess so. Like, if you do like light or moderate amount of workout and you change your eating habits, uh, at least a part of your eating habit, you'll probably see. I've had people see results as fast as 3 weeks.
Yeah, there's a coworker of mine who used to be 300 pounds and spent half a year at the gym.
Hmm.
Decided to cut off a lot of sugar. He helps that he is also a vegan. Uh,
He was a vegan before.
he was a vegan before,
Wow,
uh, but
eating all the wrong vegan stuff.
yeah, so he ate a lot of like sugar cookies and whatnot. Yeah, so in the 6 months time, he actually cut down half his body weight.
So he's 150.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, he's actually well maintained now.
okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's quite impressive.
it's all doable with positive thing. A thing I was listening on the radio while I was driving is people are like, well, it's always like, take away something or cut away something, and the whole psychological part is like you can maintain that only for about a few weeks because it's all negative.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like beating yourself if you don't eat properly, but then you keep beating yourself and it hurts, and so you don't want to keep doing that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you'll stop and you'll be like, okay, well, whatever, I don't care, right? Or you'll be like, I can do it without it, and then you realize you can't, but it's too late because you've already lost that kind of like that, that motion or that forward motion, right? So they were saying, keep positive, and just like instead of saying lose or whatever, it's like be more healthy, you know. You can say more like along the lines of eat less sugary products, right? Less of, I suppose, than
Find
uh,
alternatives.
yeah, alternatives and whatnot. But just the thought process, the mentality behind it. If it's always gonna be like, it's oh man, like this is gonna suck, or this is so negative, and it's like, why am I doing this? And you finish it, even though you finished you've already psyched yourself out of it.
Yep. While I was thinking about alternatives, I remember just one memory of mine where I love jelly beans. I really do, but they're essentially sugar pills. But
You mean they're not Dr. Mario pills?
oh, I wish that way they'll get rid of viruses. Anyways, aside for 1 month, instead of eating jelly beans like as a minor snack on the table, just like take the time, buy bunch of grapes, and just pull them all apart and put them in a bowl.
There you go.
That is so much better.
Yes. Yes, it is. I mean, that's a good alternative. Also, exercising in place and whatnot. I mean, a lot of us are, not me, but are now working at a like a 9 to 5 job or some sort of desk related job, and that takes a toll on your body,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's why they've actually, not sure if Jackson can find this. We'll put it up here. But there's these tables that that automatically rises off the thing so that it makes you get up. So there's actually like an electronic device where they mount it under into the table, and it hydraulically or pneumatically lifts your table
Uh-huh.
so that you can stand up after you eat instead of sit down after you eat.
Ah.
It promotes digestion.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and all these great things.
Yeah, I know that there are a lot more, I would guess, progressive offices are using standing desks over like normal desks.
Yeah, and some people like it, but then it's hard if you can't adjust it.
Yeah.
Because you'll hire somebody. It's like, well, I really maybe they're already out of shape and they really just want to sit down. And then one day they're like, oh, I kind of want to get in shape. So now you have to change their table for them.
Yeah.
So there's these tables that I'm sure you'll find it. It was on like this TV. Oh, no, it was on I forgot what it was called. Those Indiegogo things.
Those like
Startup things.
startup Kickstarter, whatever.
Yeah, it's
stuff.
like a Kickstarter startup thing. It's like around $300, and you can buy a table that's adjustable. Right. I think IKEA might start having them too. I'm not sure about that.
Actually motorized tables or just
yeah,
like
motorized. Some of them, they're all motorized, and they'll rise to a certain height, and you just kick away your chair, and you stand up, and you start working on things, right? Giving you a chance to stretch your legs and burn a few more calories than you would sitting down.
yes.
Yeah. And minor exercise. I like Not a gym guy. I mean, like Jackson's friend went to the gym for 6 months. Personally, don't feel like I need to go to the gym. $40 a month, depending on where you go, um, and then adding on travel time and whatnot. It's very not economical in terms of like time spent. I was like, how do you calculate how long you were in the gym? Do you count it from the time that you left the house, or do you count it from the time that you're actually doing exercise at the gym?
I personally would count the time I step onto a piece of equipment.
There you go. But a lot of people don't.
What?
A lot of people count it from the time that they leave the house. So if I'm having a conversation with Jackson, you might be. I was like, "Oh yeah, I was at the gym." And he's, "Oh yeah, how long were you at the gym for?" I don't know, about an hour, hour and a half. But realistically, it was like 15 minutes driving time there, 15 minutes driving time back, 15 minutes adjusting music and and setting setting a rhythm for yourself, and then waiting and then chatting it up with some other people. Your realistic workout time is like 15 minutes.
That's an odd thought.
Right, but it is people don't realize it, but it's there, right?
Yes.
They go there and they're like, oh yeah, I was at the gym, blah blah. And you see these people, everybody's on their phone or on their iPod, and they're trying to adjust the music because they want to just delete the rest of your music
Yeah.
or set a different playlist.
Yeah. Like for me personally, I used to play DDR pretty regularly. Like
He was good at it.
Yeah, I was pretty good at it. Not so much because I'm out of practice, but I probably should get back into it. But at a point where I was able to, adjusting your microphone, I was playing 45-minute, 1 hour sessions.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
On a certain hardness level.
on a certain difficulty level at a steady rate,
There you go.
nonstop. While
He
I
was
should be
skinny.
taking breaks. But yeah, that was my like sort of semi-daily exercise for a while.
That was 12 years ago.
Yeah, I do have DDR mats and whatnot, and I do bring them out once in a while.
Are you still good?
For the songs I remember, it's pretty much muscle memory, so it's
Ah.
just getting back into the rhythm. But for the newer songs, I need to practice.
There you go. And despite all this, after his whole DDR time, a lot of people like to do like boot camps and stuff like that. That's an alternative to the gym. Boot camp is more of a body weight exercise thing where you can do stuff at home, right? Like burpees, push-ups, crunches.
I still don't like the term burpees.
I burped a few times already, but
What are burpees?
burpees are where like you start off from a standing position, you squat down and you do a push-up, and then from the push-up you pop back up and you jump up
So jumping jacks into squats, into push-ups, and then back the other way.
without the whole leg thing, jumping jacks.
Oh, so just jump straight up.
Yeah, it's jump straight up. So from the standing position where you squat down to do the push-up, from the push-up you prop back up right away, and then you just you can do a light jump. Some people like to do high jumps. It's all dependent on how energetic you feel. But if you're setting a number for yourself, like personally for me, if you're able to do burpees, that's already an achievement. Some people are like, "Whoa, you're not doing it properly. The structure is wrong." It's like, you know what, man? Like,
As long as you're moving.
yeah, as long as you're moving, right? Anything is better than nothing. And it's a huge thing. People pay to go to boot camps or like 30-minute sessions or whatnot, and you can buy videos or go YouTube and you can find those workouts online and set a timer for yourself. It doesn't take a lot, right? I personally do 5 to 10 minutes a day. It's not even a lot.
Yeah.
Like well, 5 to 10 minutes, what could you lose, right? Well, I immediately after, well, not immediately, like 3 weeks down the road, like I noticed, muscles tightening up and less body fat, not like less body fat, but a little bit tighter than where you're normally used to, and it helps for confidence.
Yeah.
And helps for kind of like oh, it's like, well, it's actually working, right? But you have to keep it like 5-10 minutes a day, right? Some people are like, well, I can do that. It's not that, it's a consistency, right? So you have to make sure you do it 5-10 minutes a day. Not like, well, I'll do 5-10 minutes tonight.
It's like One Punch Man, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 laps.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
As long, yeah. So you can do all those things without going to a group class. Although group class is part of the positive motivation thing, where
Yeah, like everyone wants to be in a group.
yeah. And then right here, Jackson's gonna post that video of what do you call it? Homer going to the midnight game with
To the
the
Gaim.
to
What's
the
a
guy.
Gaim?
Oh, guy with the Simpsons and what do you call it? Rainier
Rainier
Wolfcastle.
Wolfcastle.
And a fitness trainer just yelling positive things at you and you know trying to make you keep going and that type of thing. That's a good thing about going to any of those classes and people at the gym. They usually try to motivate you to stay, because if you lose your motivation, they lose their business.
Yes.
So there's that. If you're self motivated, if you can listen to Rocky songs and listen to
I know people who particularly love Rocky music to their training.
yeah, it's
They
not
run
bad.
marathons to it.
Yeah, and any type of music that you feel gives you a positive, a thing for, then go for it. And if that boosts you and it saves you $40 a month, and you can still do 5 minutes of push-ups, crunches, squats, burpees, or whatever. Those are the things that I do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, it will, it can take you, it can take you, into your New Year workout regime,
Yeah.
right? And you can cut quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
And then something.
No.
No?
Just like
Well, the following thing would be like the alternative thing between from gym to boot camp will be like martial arts classes.
learning something practical.
Not necessarily, depending on where you go and what you're learning, and based on whatever your instructor decides to teach you. Those type of things. Those are similar to boot camp type thing, except it's not as intense. It's more considered light to moderate, whereas boot camp is considered moderate to high intensity,
Mm.
right? And doing three classes a week definitely helps you to get some coordination, right? People are like, well, how can martial arts help me lose weight or that type of thing? Some martial arts classes don't do much boot camp, but a lot of MMA classes do now. You can find those on Groupon and whatnot. They'll do like $29 for the week or for the month, and you'll go in, you'll do like in a 1 hour class, you'll do like half an hour of exercises, like 100 push-ups. 100, people puke and whatnot all over the place.
Yeah, because they need to have your physical body conditioned so that you can actually perform these maneuvers.
Right. So they want you to do all these things, right? And they just, boom, 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 they pound it into you. And, some people will last, some people won't last. And it's all dependent on on that mental state at that time.
And always remember rule number 1:
Cardio?
cardio.
Yeah, so MMA classes is a good way to jump into things. Traditional martial arts classes as well, but they work you in a different manner and more coordination and that type of thing. And coordination is huge in terms of how you decide to move your body.
Mm.
Right? Some people are like, well, you trip over the smallest cracks, or you decide to lift a box, and then you somehow work the wrong muscle and you tweak it or something like that. Those are all things that you can, I'm going to say, avoidable if you learn to use your body in a certain way, and you'll automatically just like your footwork and your punches and your whatnot. Those are huge for building confidence and whatnot. It's kind of like just like even like tripping over something and then suddenly like your phone flies out of your hand and then you catch it right away again.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that so many times now. It's just kind of like it's cool every single time you do it because you're like all that training did come down.
Yeah, like knowing how fast you can move your hands and reaction speed,
Yeah, those like those
coordination.
yeah, smile like hand eye speed and oh I caught it. Okay, well that's great. Those are I think those are huge confidence boosters, and everybody who practices martial arts in one form or another definitely gains that. Well, not definitely, but will gain some sort of ability to do it depending on how long you do it, and
Yeah. So knowledge brings out confidence.
yeah. But remember, don't be
Overconfident.
at that, and then don't expect like people online to be able to tell you all the details that you're looking for. I mean, some people are like, well, I'll just train offline or just train online and whatnot. But the instructor's not there, nobody's there to correct you.
Yeah, because people like learn on their own and try to do things on their own that feels comfortable with their own body, not realizing that they're not doing it in the proper form. So then you end up like moving out of place or not be able to be in the right position for the next maneuver.
Yeah, and then you end up, and you can have a chance of hurting yourself, or you actually make yourself less efficient. Not that it's bad. You're moving you're moving. You're monkey see, monkey do on YouTube and that type of thing. You're still moving. It's great if you keep doing it. That's great as well. But you could be more efficient.
Yeah, unless you have like a fully well-rounded foundation and you're just doing stuff on your own just to
Rounded
like
foundation.
keep in
Nah.
shape. Yeah, like if you're like developing your own style, then that's slightly different. But you need that foundation to begin with.
Yeah, and what was I going to say to this thing? There was a lot of people feel like, oh, well, I think I'm going to get into shape a little bit first before I join a martial arts class, because blah, 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 blah. True and false. I mean, true and false. A lot of martial arts classes put fitness in there, and you don't have to be fit to do martial arts, right? Although it helps,
That you're able to move.
that you're able to move, right? But just being there in the midst of everybody else and just practicing that coordination thing, your muscles will automatically adapt to it, right? And so many people say, "Oh, I'm really interested in your classes, but I think I'm going to go to the gym for a few weeks first," and then they lose it. They lose it, right?
Yeah.
It's human nature for that type of thing where they'll say they'll follow through, and I personally get a lot of emails, people requesting for training, and they'll write this whole extravagant email, and then at the end of it, it's kind of like, well, I'll be like, come on in for a free trial then, right? It sounds like you're the right type of person for for the classes and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
I don't teach everybody. I teach those who I feel who are able to express themselves properly. I won't even respond to people who are like, how much is classes? Yeah, like one word questions or sorry, one sentence emails and stuff like that. Those are things I totally dislike. But yeah, they fire you an email and they're like, oh, I'm all excited, I'm gonna come in, and then at the end of it, you're like, what? It's like, where is this person? It's like last minute they'll text you, right? They'll send you a text message. It's like, oh, sorry, I couldn't make it. Family thing. I'm like,
Yeah, they get cold feet right at the last minute.
cold feet.
Yeah, cold
Putting
feet.
it.
We got a heater down here.
Yeah. Putting certain things ahead of your own health. I mean, I'm not saying your family or your kids are not important. I'm saying that if you're gonna fire off an email, if you're gonna have that intention,
At least have the discipline to book time for it.
yeah, at least
Unless it's like a legitimate emergency, go do your emergency. But like, it's part of the training is discipline.
yeah. And a lot of people don't have that because they're like, well, I'm spending money. Well, I don't have to come if I don't want to. 100% true.
Yes, that's the way the school system works. You're paying them to teach you, but you don't have to be there.
Yeah, and and as an instructor, if I'm offering you a free trial, right? It's a business thing as well, but at the same time, there's kind of like, come on, man, it's free,
Yeah.
right? If you came in for a regular drop-in class, it'd be like $15-20 for the 1 hour, right? And that's with everybody else here, right? So there's almost no, it's almost like no reason besides from an emergency to not show up, right? Because you knew when dinner was coming, right? You knew that there was this dinner coming up, and and it was on a certain day, right? So.
Yeah. Plan ahead.
Yeah, plan ahead, right? It's all these things that you want to keep your New Year's resolution thing going, especially if it's like anything to do, like weight loss or whatever, or that type of thing. Plan ahead. And even with like, I'm not gonna, we don't know too much about wealth management because I'm not really wealthy in any way, shape, or form. But those guys, they just write a plan up too, right? They create a plan for you, and you throw in money, and then that's how they do your investments.
Yep.
That's the gist of it. Right. To be successful, you have to have that plan. And, I'm more focused on the martial arts side of things, although, we should all be focused on, health and wealth. That's the idea. Health and wealth.
They all end with TH.
Death. Damn. They all end with TH.
It's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
Health and wealth. No, you can have lots of health, but you have no wealth, and you can't really, you don't really have that much fun, right? And you can have the wealth, but if you're dying in your bed, then that's also really crappy as well. What else is there? What else do people do for New Year's resolutions?
I don't know. People do spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning. It is not spring yet.
Not
It is
quite
negative
yet.
40 degrees, I think, today.
Is it really?
Negative something. Everything was frosty until the sunlight hit it today.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just thinking about it earlier, and it's like, I got some stuff I need to throw out.
You got a lot of stuff you need to throw out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention it, but you know what I'm talking about. Since grade 10, I've been talking about it.
Yeah, I do purge once in a while when it comes to stuff, but it's been a while.
Yeah. Once in a while. Consider him a hoarder.
For
Could be-
certain things.
Could be dead bodies under there. Dead bodies of
I
stuffed animals.
I do have a collection of stuffed animals, yes.
There we go.
Mostly from claw games.
Are they worth anything?
A personal
Sold a
reward.
buck.
If people want to buy it, sure. they're just my personal trophies.
Yeah, so a lot of things that we can do, and maybe one of these days I'll show you guys some exercises and whatnot on the video, and just to one of these days, there you go, procrastination right there, to show you videos of workout. Although you can look it up yourself, right? So a good workout routine, just to cap off kind of like this whole workout thing, I do at home 30 squats. 30 push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
You can do 30 crunches, but I feel you can do almost 100 crunches. But if you're just starting off, 30 is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
30
Burpees.
Yep.
30 burpees.
Okay.
Right. And these are 4 things, so that's 120 reps.
Yeah.
All right. You count 120 reps. If you can do it under 5 minutes or under, then you're on your way.
Mm-hmm.
If you're over 5 minutes, keep going at it. And you know what? Guarantee you a week, you'll get used to it. And just for the beginning part, like some people are like, "Oh, that's ridiculous. That's so tiring." Space it out. Space it out.
Yeah, pace yourself in the beginning so you don't overwork yourself.
Well, some people are like, "Oh, well, I want to." One of your New Year's resolutions is to do 100 push-ups in a day.
That's a bit much.
See, you're looking at it from the wrong point of view. 100, right? But what about 10 times 10?
Yeah, like I've done it before. Like if you space it out and like you can take a little break every like 10 reps or 10, 15 reps, it's not that bad.
Right. So if you want to increase your muscle mass, or I usually say do 10 sets of 10 on your own time. So 10 sets, but maximum a minute break. And I usually do it during a movie, not at a theater, but at home. Right. So I'll put on a movie and then I'll watch it and I'll do 10 push-ups, and then I'll stretch out a little bit, do a little movement. And then I'll do another 10 push-ups, and then I'll stretch out a little bit more, and maybe I'll do some maybe I'll do some crunches during the break, and I'll hold off on that, and I'll do another 10 push-ups. It stacks up, right? You just build it, building pieces, and then you eventually you'll be able to do that time that you're looking for, right? And it won't cost you a penny if you do it from home, except just time. Right.
Yeah.
So 2016, a lot of good stuff going on. What's the date today? January 1st, right? So there's CES coming up. CES is coming up from 6 to 9 January, I think. And there's also obviously another E3.
Every
Year, right? Stuff to look forward to. What other stuff are we looking forward to this year? Evo 2016, obviously.
Yeah,
Evo,
first year for Street Fighter 5.
Street Fighter 5 in February, debuting in February, I believe.
Yeah, February 16th.
There you go. Around that time. You can find the details on Steam.
Or anywhere else, really.
Yeah, kind of. And then there's always PAX, but PAX always sells out for some reason.
It's too big for the city now.
Yeah, it's like a minute into the thing and it's all gone.
Relatively, a lot of people just buy it just so that they can
resell it.
That too.
I've never been to a PAX, but Jackson's been to a few. But it's been so bad that he haven't been able to get tickets for the last year.
No, I've more or less given up the ability to go to PAX. So I was like, I'd rather spend my time doing something else now.
Yeah, like you waiting online.
As fun as PAX is for like meeting of people and doing fun stuff, I've learned to redirect my energy on the other things now.
And that's good. Learning to redirect, to do something else besides from being so focused on that one.
I mean, it is culturally significant for those who are not into the world of games and culture, but yeah, I've learned to channel that into like animes
And
and
podcasts.
podcasts, fighting games.
Actually, he listens to a lot more than he podcasts. But yeah,
These little projects.
what projects are you working on?
Um, I don't know. I haven't actually thought about what the next project I'm doing right now. I'm just building sticks.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm trying to build my own Hatsune Miku arcade controller, but I don't have a box big enough to contain it.
There you go.
So I have to figure that part out.
And which he will. And then we also don't forget, guys. There's tax time coming up as well, right? Before in Canada, it's before April or May or something like that. It's from now all the way to that time. So your company has to finish off its T4s, is what we do in Canada, and then they'll have to hand it to you, and you can do your taxes, and then you get to go on vacation with that tax money if you don't owe any tax. If they refund you money, then you can go on vacation with it.
Yes. So yeah, there's a lot of people who don't know or are unaware of how Canadian taxes work, but a lot of people overpay their taxes, so that's why they get refunds.
That's good. Better than having to shell out at the end of the year when you have no money.
Yes, I did remember reading another way of doing things where, like, instead of overpaying your taxes, and people just like decide to keep that money into a bank and then pay their taxes at the time they need to.
Yeah, that requires discipline again in savings.
It requires a lot of financial discipline to do that method. So a lot of people forego that and just decides to give the government taxes in advance and then take the money back when it's time to do the refund. But as one of articles I've read, like doing that way, actually you lose out on a significant amount of interest because the banks are gaining that interest. Or not the banks, but the government. But I suppose it's a good thing because the government needs that money.
And we are not financial planners, and we are not qualified to give out, financial tips. But in general, it makes sense.
Yeah, in general, that's the overarching thing that I write about. But yeah,
It's just like anything else. I mean, if you have,
speaking of financial discipline, like one of the people, you have to learn how to manage your paychecks.
talking about me, I need to do that.
I haven't been doing that quite so well. I used to been able to, like lately with a lot of other responsibilities, like it's becoming much more difficult.
Spending, cutting
Get back
on
to it.
spending.
Yeah.
Anything else going on?
No, I'm just learning to divvy up my money again.
Okay. 10% for me. No.
Yes, that's one of the very first rules I remember learning in high school is to remember to pay yourself.
Yeah. That's always a good rule.
Yeah.
I just spend 100% on myself. Damn it. No.
And by paying yourself, I mean like putting money into savings and whatnot.
Of course.
Because like not many, because it's an optional thing to learn in high school. It's like financial accounting and whatnot.
And we should have, or he did at least.
I didn't. But it's one of those optional programs you can go into. But one of the things they hammer into is like how compound interest works for your retirement savings and whatnot.
And that's freaking huge, actually. If you look how compound interest works, it builds.
Yeah, it builds
huge amounts of money.
Yeah, like one of the scariest things I've learned from that class was like how a person who starts saving at age, as soon as they get out of high school and get a job or college or whatever, to a person who's in their 30s to start doing that, like the amount of money difference by the time they retire.
Yeah, and even if the guy at the 30 years old starts doubling the money, he can't catch up for some reason.
Yeah,
it's like scarily stupid.
Yeah, but that's more or less how it works, and I've been trying to do that for the longest time.
Trying.
I've been able to do that for like 4 years and got pretty good at it, but then like stuff happened.
Life happens.
Life happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do we else we got on the list? We got tax, blah, blah. You can move on. Vacations. This year for vacations, I mean, I'm sure people have some sort of vacation savings or vacation plan. Um, I think I want to, this year, hopefully I'll be able to head to Japan for the first time, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, like July is always well,
I want to go
relatively.
during low season.
Actually, July is the low season because it's typhoon season.
Sounds good. I'm going to Japan.
Yeah, that's the time session I went at, and I got relatively lucky that it didn't actually rain when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was swelteringly hot.
Negative thingy, but
But that's why it's cheap.
yes.
But if you go in
Were
July,
were the planes full?
I would say 85% ish, I guess.
Okay, so there were some few free spaces from you remember.
From what I can tell, yes. But I was trying to sleep for the most of it because it is like a 12, 14-hour flight or something like
So I've been on multiple flights like that.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, vacations. I would probably personally I would avoid anywhere that might have security concerns, that type of thing. Most of Asia seems fairly safe to me. And it depends on what you're aiming for, right? If you're going to Europe and whatnot, then that's all good stuff there. But seems to be make sure you read the news and keep up with different pandemics, epidemics, kind of like war zones and crises and whatnot in those areas. You don't want to head there and be stuck there. Like there were some travelers that went to Egypt. They got stuck there for like they were scheduled to leave and they got stuck for another week or 2 weeks because of like I'm not sure. It could have been terror attacks. It could have been some sort of anti-government thing going on. But there something happened and they got delayed, right? And at a time like this, I wouldn't be heading over to somewhere. You want to go to vacation and enjoy it, right? You don't want to enjoy. You don't want to go on vacation and then come back and find out that you're fired because you didn't show up at work. Even if there was that type of thing, it's preventable.
That's where insurance comes in.
Well, insurance doesn't cover you if you get fired.
But it is within reason. I mean,
Well, if you don't show up for work and it's you planned your vacation.
You plan your vacation, but like, I would suppose your supervisor or boss or whatever would be like relatively okay with like the fact that you're stuck.
Depends on your job, obviously.
Well, yeah, if you're in a profession where it requires you to be there, then yeah, it would be rather difficult.
Yeah, and then it also stretches out company time, and your importance in the company is obviously fairly if you produce a lot of work for your company, then they're more likely to give you more leniency as opposed to if you're bottom of the barrel, and that's the thing, right? Maybe a New Year's resolution would be to climb the corporate ladder a little bit, give yourself a little bit more important jobs to do, so they don't want to get rid of you that fast.
Yeah, I guess I've lost my train of thought on this topic.
Yeah, I was traveling.
Right. I was thinking about that again just a while ago and then forgot about it. Yeah, but yeah, I was thinking about going to Evo this year, but given that the fact that the Canadian dollar sucks, I might not be able to.
Yeah, it's 1 point. Can you look that up right now? Is there Wi-Fi? Today, the rate of today.
72 cents. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's
Let's
more the optimistic side.
invert that 1 USD to Canadian. I'm better with that.
Oh, yeah, it's like 28%.
Put 1 USD to.
Or the other way around, I suppose that's 140.
Yeah, it's like 1.4. It's still
So
pretty
it's
bad.
40%. So, yeah. Between 28 and 40% difference.
Wow. Yeah, it's a huge difference even from what we're doing.
It's almost 2-1, which is scary. I don't think the Canadian dollar's ever been to 2-1.
No. It was really close. At one point, I remember it was 1.5 Canadian dollars per $1 US.
That was 2-1.
1.5 to 1.
Isn't it?
1.5 to 1.
Okay, never mind. My numbers are wrong.
Yeah. And that was back in 2004, 2006, and whatnot.
Was it that long ago? I don't remember
That
doing
was like
it.
10 years ago. Yeah, it was around there.
It's like the last time I was ever aware of this sort of situation was back in '96. In between like the 2000 period, I never did any American traveling, so I wasn't aware of the effect of the dollar. I was still too young to like actually buy anything on the internet.
I bought a lot of stuff back in 2000, and then I got yelled at because it wasn't my credit card.
Ah.
It was my mom's credit card.
Yeah, like during that time period, I didn't really have a credit card or anything like that, so I didn't bother doing anything online. So yeah, so the only reason why I knew it in '96 because like everyone else was talking about it.
Yeah, so like, but that's when you're like 12 years old. Come on, what do you expect? No one has a disciplinary thing for that unless you were. If at 12 years old you were investing into like Yahoo or Google or something like that, that would have been your. You wouldn't be here doing a podcast right now.
Yes.
You would not. I guarantee you. Yeah. Anything? What else we got? No, I think we're.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think we're done. We're done for your New Year's resolution topics.
Well, I think we've just been talking about disciplines, martial arts, and whatever.
Well, those are all
exploits.
part of your New Year's resolution. My assumption is got somewhere in that range, right? I mean, if it's not that, drop us a comment and we'll talk about what your New Year's resolution is, and me and him can debate about it.
That was decidedly defensive. I was not expecting that.
That's right. You can't expect what I do.
Right.
Okay. So, let's. I think we'll wrap it up.
Yes.
Yeah. So another great episode of Kibitzer. That's right. And
Wait, was it?
Kibitzer, unwanted or solicited advice.
Okay.
And yeah, definitely you can drop us a line and see what's going on. We're here at Secret Base, and if you're in Vancouver, if you're local and you want to come in for the show or whatever it is, feel free to.
Yeah, you can guest in or be part of the audience or whatever. It's
Yeah, we don't have a lot of stuff going on. You could just play video games in the background if you wanted to, since we got those arcade machines.
yeah, you can plug in stuff.
Plug in stuff and whatnot. Yeah.
Stay warm.